Tonight we're venturing deep into the heart of the Middle Ages, to an era of faith, steel, and unimaginable secrets.
We're talking about the most famous military order the world has ever known, the Knights Templar, a name that still echoes through history for their power and mystery,
And their tantalizing, hotly debated connection to the single most mysterious relic in all of Christian tradition, the Holy Grail.
Was it a physical cup that held the blood of Christ? A metaphor for hidden bloodlines and lost knowledge? Or something far more profound?
Were these warrior monks its sworn guardians, or simply convenient characters in a legend that exploded after their dramatic fall?
We're going to explore every angle, the documented history, the daily lives, the battles that define them.
The banking empire that made kings tremble.
Arrest them all! You Bruces!
The brutal suppression that birthed Friday the 13th.
And the swirling theories that still captivate scholars, conspiracy enthusiasts, and storytellers today.
We'll examine nuances, edge cases, counter-arguments, and modern implications.
So pull up a seat by this roaring fire, because the door to the past is open. Let's step inside together. Picture this, it's the early 12th century. The First Crusade has just succeeded in 1099. Jerusalem is in Christian hands, but the roads leading to the Holy City are a gauntlet of death.
Pilgrims, peasants, nobles, entire families are slaughtered by bandits, Turkish raiders, and opportunistic warlords. The church calls for protection. Enter 9 French knights led by Hugues de Payens, a noble from Champagne.
In 1119, they approach King Baldwin II of Jerusalem with a radical proposal: create a new religious order that combines the vows of monks with the swords of knights.
Poverty, chastity, obedience. But instead of cloistered prayer, they patrol the pilgrim roads and defend the Holy Land.
The pilgrim roads lust.
King Baldwin grants them a wing of the royal palace on the Temple Mount itself, the very site of Solomon's ancient temple. From this location, they take their full, formal name, the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon. Within years, the public simply calls them the Knights Templar.
Bernard of Clairvaux, the mostly influential monk of the age, writes their Latin rule. 72 strict clauses that govern every aspect of life. No gambling, no hawking, no fancy clothes. Beards must be kept trimmed. They sleep fully clothed in lighted dormitories to guard against temptation. Meat is eaten only 3 times a week. Absolute obedience, even a single unauthorized charge in battle could cost a brother his habit or his life. Consider the revolutionary nuance here. Before the Templars, knights were usually secular warriors loyal to feudal lords. These men answered only to the Pope and their Grand Master. They were the first true military religious order, a template later copied by the Hospitaliers, Teutonic Knights, and others. Their white mantles with the distinctive red cross became the most feared and respected symbol in the medieval world. By the mid-12th century, the order explodes in size. Thousands of knights, sergeants, chaplains, and lay brothers. They construct a network of over 1,000 in Priscio. Their castles, Crac de Chevaliers, Safad, Tortosa, are engineering marvels, virtually impregnable. In battle, they are legendary for discipline. The rule forbids retreat unless outnumbered at least 3-1, and even then only on the marshal's order. At the Battle of Montgisard in 1177, roughly 500 Templars and a small Christian force rout Saladin's army of 26,000. Chroniclers describe the Templars charging like lions, with their white mantles streaming behind them. But their greatest innovation wasn't on the battlefield. It was in the counting house. Because they were trusted, spread everywhere, and bound by unbreakable vows, the Templars become the medieval world's first international bankers. A pilgrim could deposit gold in London, receive a coded letter of credit, and withdraw the exact sum in Jerusalem.
116 bezants minus the fee. Paid in full.
Kings, popes, and merchants store their treasure in Templar vaults. The order lends money at interest, carefully framed as administrative costs to skirt usury laws. They own fleets, vineyards, farms, entire villages. At their peak, they are richer than many kingdoms and answerable to almost no one. Here's an important multi-angle view. Their wealth wasn't stolen or magically conjured. It came from pious donations, efficient land management, and the trust earned through their monastic discipline. Yet that very success planted seeds of resentment. Rival orders competed. Secular rulers envied their independence. And when the last Crusader stronghold at Acre fell in 1291, the Templars' original mission seemed obsolete. What do you do with an army of monk bankers when there's no Holy Land left to defend? Enter King Philip IV of France. Philip the Fair, drowning in debt from endless wars, he owes the Templars a fortune. On Friday, October 13, 1307, his soldiers arrest every Templar in France in a single coordinated dawn raid. The charges read like a medieval fever dream: heresy, idolatry, spitting on the cross, denying Christ, secret homosexual rituals, worshipping a bearded head called Baphomet, even cat worship. Under horrific torture, many Templars break and confess to charges of heresy and sodomy. His recantation seals his fate, leading to execution. In 1312, Pope Clement V, under pressure from King Philip IV of France, this formally dissolved the Knights Templar order, marking the end of their power. Their vast assets are supposed to transfer to the Hospitallers, but Philip seizes most for himself. On March 18, 1314, Desmoulins is burned at the stake on a small island in the Seine. Legend claims that as the flames rose, he cursed both king and pope, prophesying they would meet him before God's judgment within a year. Both men died within months, Philip of a stroke, Clement of illness.
Modern historians overwhelmingly agree the charges were fabricated. No solid evidence of widespread heresy exists in surviving trial records outside France.
Templars in England, Spain, Portugal, and elsewhere were largely exonerated or quietly absorbed into other orders. The suppression was political theatre, driven by greed and the desire to centralize royal power. Edge cases matter. Some Templars escaped to Portugal, where King Dinas reformed them as the Order of Christ. The same order that later funded Henry the Navigator's voyages and may have reached the New World decades before Columbus. Others joined the Hospitallers or simply faded into obscurity. The sudden vacuum of their disappearance created perfect conditions for legends to flourish.
Now we reach the beating heart of the mystery, the Holy Grail. In Christian lore, it is the cup of the Last Supper, later used by Joseph of Arimathea to catch Christ's blood at the crucifixion.
By the late 12th century, French and German poets transform it into an object of supreme quest, granting visions, healing, immortality, or divine knowledge. Crucially, Wolfram von Eschenbach's 1210 describes the Grail's guardians as Templaise, chaste, white-clad warrior knights living in a temple fortress.
Scholars widely see this as a direct literary nod to the real Templars, who were at the height of their fame and power when these romances were written.
Did the Templars actually possess or guard the Grail? Contemporary records are silent. No trial document mentions a cup or relic of that nature.
Their excavations beneath the Temple Mount were almost certainly for structural foundations or stables, not relic hunting. Yet the legend persists because it fits too perfectly. Let's break down the major theories with nuance, evidence, and counterpoints. Physical relic theory. The Templars discovered the cup or a related artifact during Temple Mount excavations and smuggled it to Europe, hiding it in France, Scotland, or Oak Island. Supporting clues, certain Templar churches contain unusual Grail-like iconography. Rosslyn Chapel's 15th century carvings resemble Templar symbols. Counter, no archaeological proof. Carbon dating of alleged relics rarely matches the 1st century. Sangreal bloodline, popularized by Holy Blood, Holy Grail 1982, and the Da Vinci Code. Sangreal as royal blood rather than Holy Grail. The cup symbolizes the womb of Mary Magdalene, carrying Jesus' descendants protected by a secret society linked to Templars and the Priory of Sion. Compelling storytelling, but the priory documents were proven 20th century forgeries by French hoaxers. Still, the idea resonates because it reframes the Grail as living history rather than object. Esoteric symbolic theory. The Grail represents spiritual enlightenment, alchemical transformation, or even a meteorite stone, as Wolfram hints. Templars, with their international network, secrecy, and exposure via the Crusades, become ideal custodians of forbidden knowledge. Pure romantic invention, Grail legends predate or parallel Templar fame. Chrétien de Troyes wrote the first Grail story before the Order's full power. The connection strengthened after 1307, when the Order's dramatic fall left a narrative vacuum that poets and later novelists eagerly filled. Implications ripple outward. These legends turn the Templars from historical figures into symbols of resistance to tyranny, hidden wisdom, and lost chivalry. They inspired Freemasons, Nazi occult searches, video games Assassin's Creed, and tourism at sites like Château de Gisors or the village of Rennes-le-Château. Yet they also risk obscuring the real men, disciplined, innovative, flawed human beings whose financial systems prefigured modern banking and whose architectural legacy still dots Europe. Related considerations. If the Templars survived in some form, their maritime expertise may have aided Portuguese exploration. Conspiracy claims of Templar treasure fleets or New World contact remain unproven but intriguing.
Modern self-styled Templar orders exist worldwide, but they are 19th and 20th century revivals with no direct lineage.
The real legacy is cultural, the ideal of selfless service in a brutal age. The Knights Templar rose as protectors of the faithful and fell as scapegoats of royal greed. Their blend of martial skill, monastic discipline, and financial genius left indelible marks on law, architecture, banking, and the very idea of chivalry. The Holy Grail continues to captivate to humanity's deepest longings for meaning, for the divine, for something transcendent in a chaotic world. In the end, perhaps the greatest relic they guarded was not an object but an ideal, one that, like the Grail itself, remains eternally just beyond our grasp, yet forever worth pursuing.
If this deep dive into the Knights Templar and the Holy Grail lit a fire in you for history's hidden corridors, drop your thoughts in the comments. Which Grail theory resonates with you most? Do you believe the Templars still guard secrets today? Which medieval mystery should we tackle next?
Hey everyone, do me a massive favor right now. Smash that like button, subscribe to the ManInDaRoom channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thank you for spending this time with me in the ManInDaRoom. Until we open the next ancient door together, keep questioning, keep exploring, and stay curious.